You are listening to That's Not the Finish podcast, a no-holds-barred pro wrestling podcast perfect for getting your wrestling fix. Now get ready to call for the 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
And try not to get DQ'd. Because here are your hosts.
Oh my God, we're back. After so long, we have reemerged from the ashes. We're alive. So, welcome back to another episode of the That's Not the Finish podcast. And oh my God, it feels so good to say that again.
It feels weird.
It's like weird that you're outside right now.
Is it a show or is it?
Well, I am outside. Huh?
Is this still a show going on, or did we just start a new show? It's been so long, I don't even
I think the show's called That Is the Finish.
Ooh, spin-off?
No, I literally just called the show That's Finish.
Not to be confused with That's a Finish.
Oh my God, I normally Google that one on Pornhub.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Keep
Anyway,
it PG, man.
have to keep it
Ready,
PG.
Dan?
All right, anyway. So, we have a little bit of a Money in the Bank recap and discussion for y'all today, and then we're going to be talking about the t-shirt company that actually is putting on a TV show called Double or Nothing, otherwise known as AEW. So, Dom, how'd you like
Yes.
Money in the Bank?
I enjoyed it. I mean, both of both Money in the Bank matches, like the women's and the men's Money in the Bank ladder matches, were some of the best Money in the Bank matches we've seen in a while, I think. I really enjoyed the women's Money in the Bank, and the men's had some insane fucking spots that have I'm still surprised people are still alive after that. But yes, Finn
Like
Balor.
Andre, power bombing, who was it, Ricochet onto a ladder?
Finn Balor.
Oh, Finn Balor
Balor.
onto a ladder. Yeah, he
Ripping
he
pieces.
did Ricochet after that, but
Yeah, well,
but yeah, no, there was some damage in there, some carnage.
overall, it was both great matches. The Seth Rollins AJ Styles match was great as well.
Yeah.
I liked it as a card. I mean, everyone's pissed off about the Brock Lesnar finish, and I agree. I am pissed off at that, but I think it can work. Brock Lesnar having Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm here to try and flip some people to the Brock Lesnar side of things.
Now,
Everyone hated.
Yeah.
Yes. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so it's actually kind of interesting because, as you know, I'm the Twitter guy, and when I go onto Twitter, I used to see so much Brock Lesnar hate, and it's always blowing up. But I've actually been noticing the Brock Lesnar fans have been coming through the woodwork, and I actually tweeted out something about because I just was actually when I first saw Brock Lesnar, because as you know, I'm kind of cheap, and I just I watch Bletcher Report for the results or Wikipedia. That's where I stream my WWE pay-per-views. But I was actually on Facebook, and then all of a sudden I just see Brock Lesnar holding up the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I was like, wait a second, is this a Photoshop? And then I looked at the results, and it actually Brock Lesnar. I was like, oh my God, that was actually real. I literally was like, oh Jesus Christ. So as soon as I posted up how you guys feel, I forget what I said exactly, but I was like, how do you guys feel about this? And then a couple of people actually, we're actually pretty cool with this, and I think just what it is exactly is that they're just getting used to Lesnar being the heel, and the thing is that he just pisses people off. And when you see people raging at this beast of a man who literally could just rip any guy in half, and they make these things about they just hate him for just winning the belt too much. I mean, I think that he's doing a great job because it just shows how good he really is.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, a lot of the people that are mad that Lesnar had won Money in the Bank, and the thing is that actually Grim, who's a YouTuber, he's got a pretty decent following, and he's well, he's pretty well known in the indies, kind of pointed this out and said, this is stuff that they did back in the Attitude Era. Like they would do this, random twist, and they would do, like things that would piss you off, and and everyone wants to see the comeuppance, but wrestling's not always, and I don't mean to start a debate, but it's kind of like Game of Thrones. From what I've heard with the ending, that a lot of people were pissed and they weren't happy, but the whole...
We're not going to discuss that here.
No, because this is a wrestling podcast, but there's a reason why I brought it up, and it's just because, they're trying to get a reaction out of you. Like, the best stories are the ones that get the best reactions out of you. And, you're going to get mad. You're gonna get mad. And, like, that's what they do. But that's what makes everything sweeter. Like, look how we treated Rey Mysterio when we wanted Daniel Bryan in the Royal Rumble, and everyone's, oh man, I hate this. It's not fair. And they booed Rey Mysterio out of the freaking arena, which was undeserving. But it made WrestleMania 30 even better because we got what we wanted. And it's a lot of wrestling fans think that, wrestling is a race. We have to get from A to B. We have to get from A to Z without B to Y. It's a marathon. You have to they're playing specific parts, and getting your emotion out of it. And in time, this is just storytelling 101.
See, this is part of the reason why I really like, if they actually do it correctly, why this can be such a great story going into it. You have Brock Lesnar. Everyone's still mad at Brock for holding the title hostage, not showing up. Like, he only did 4 or 5 matches last year as champion. Yeah. But with him as Money in the Bank, it can play a completely different story. You have him who, the two champions are obviously undermatched against him, and realistically, they should be undermatched, and they would be scared of him being able to come in whenever he wants to get a title shot. So you have him show up every week for half the year, just showing up every single time they're out on TV, scaring them, acting like he's going to cash in, and just in placing fear in their head. I mean, you can even have him come out there and beat the shit out of Kofi Kingston, and then act like he's going to cash in and just go, nah, I'm not going to do it tonight, and just walk away. And just have that fear instilled in these guys for quite a long time until you're ready to actually either give him the title, or honestly, I think what they should do with him, and I hate failed cash-ins for Money in the Bank, but I think a failed cash-in for Brock Lesnar would be good.
And it's funny because I feel like that's what they are going to do with him, is a failed cash-in. I was just, I highly doubt that they're actually going to do this in the storyline, but I highly doubt that he's going to actually tell Seth or Kofi when he's going to cash in, and then actually do that whole thing like Cena did.
That's what they claim, but
yeah,
see, that's
I think
pointless
he's
for
gonna
Brock
fake
Lesnar.
him out,
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think
play them for a fool for as long as he can. Keep it get in their heads and play a mind game with them the whole time, and that'll really keep everyone on the edge of their seats as well as an audience. If Brock Lesnar come out there and threatening him, you don't know when he's actually going to try and cash in, and you'll always be on guard as to, oh crap, they're going to lose their titles tonight. Oh, it's going to happen, and it's a great way to keep people tuning in going forward.
Definitely. And when I saw... Oh, sorry, Moses, go.
No, I was just going to say, I completely agree with that. And, that's the most ideal thing. And I don't know if WWE will do that. And, it would make sense for them to do that. But if they don't, it would be interesting to see, maybe... I don't know how it would play out. I can see him cashing in more. I could see, the funny thing is that I just thought of something. They're probably going to use this as a way to unify the belts. If the whole unification theory is True, because this would actually be the best ideal way to unify them without making Seth a heel and without making Kofi a heel, because you have Brock Lesnar, who lost the title at WrestleMania, the Universal title. So technically, he's still due a rematch, and then he cashes in on Kofi, and then says, "Hey, I want my rematch clause initiated." Beats Seth, and I think we just lost Dom.
Yeah, I'm back now.
Okay, but
I missed everything you said, but
all right. Well, pretty much
fine.
what I said was Kofi. Since I'll say it just for you, so you can kind of jump off of it. Kofi, he lost at WrestleMania to Seth Rollins, right?
Yeah.
He beats Kofi Kingston. He cashes in on Kofi Kingston, and then goes to Raw and says, "Hey, I never got my rematch clause initiated." He has the match with Seth Rollins, beats him, and that's how they unify the belts. So those are the only really two options I see them going about it. Is your idea, which is the better of the two, or they go with probably the best ideal way for them to unify the belts without one of their top baby faces turning heel.
Mm-hmm.
So here's another thing that just popped into my head right now. Do you really think that they would look to unify the titles exactly? Because it's do you think that they're still trying to do like the whole brand split thing, especially like with what they were enacting with the wild card rule, for example, here, and like kind of just having it so like, okay, some wrestlers can go to SmackDown, like the ones that people want to see more of can go to SmackDown or Raw and like basically get like a double dose of them, while we still have specific wrestlers that are just only for Raw and only for SmackDown.
You want to take that one first, Dom?
Yeah. I mean, here's my take. I mean, the wild card rule to me, it just makes no fucking sense. Like, it's a half-ass brand split. It's like, all right, we're gonna let some people come over and some people, but like everyone else has to stay where they are. It's like, why not just go full brand split if you're gonna do that? Like, it just seems like a giant waste of time. I mean, I think there's a case for more belts because there's so much fucking talent. Like, you're gonna want to have like enough belts for everyone, but at the same time, it's like, how much time do you have between 5 hours of programming on TV and then a 4-hour pay-per-view to defend all that stuff?
Yeah, and I actually agree with you a lot with the half-ass brand split thing, because this really does feel like it, especially now with the 24-hour title, and you literally see people the people that were chasing after the title from Raw on SmackDown the next night.
Yeah.
So it's literally like, okay, so you guys are doing a brand split without doing the brand split in a sense.
Personally, I think they should just do away with the brand split. So, like, I'm not a big fan of the brand split to begin with. It limits matchups. It limits matchups. It like takes away from like what you can actually get out of people. Like, you have all these great guys that are never going to get a chance to face each other because of this brand split.
I feel it back like in the 2000s, it was done well because you literally were like, oh, I'm a SmackDown guy, oh, I'm a Raw guy, and like they both had like really good talent.
They also had talent that they felt could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, I think honestly, I think this is probably like the best roster they've ever had. If not in a long time.
In a sense, yes, it is.
Yeah, in a sense,
but they're not being used properly.
Yeah,
exactly. But like, a lot of people like, oh, Attitude Era. But most of the guys in the Attitude Era, aside from the Cruiserweight division, were mainly like, like they were the best of the best. But now we got that resurgence again, and the only thing is that they're not, 350 pounds and, or 450 pounds and 6'7". They're 212 pounds and 5'9". It's a different roster. It's a different,
but it's also different times.
Exactly. And like, and that's like what Booker T said, as in terms of like, what Billy Graham said about, telling Kofi to juice up. Like, this isn't the 70s. This isn't the 80s. You don't have these guys that are major draws now that are, that got 6 packs and, that they're freaking roided up, up the, they're just roided up. These are guys that are like, you got guys that are like Finn Balor and guys that are like Nakamura and AJ Styles, who are, not the biggest guys in the world,
but they're athletic on their own. They don't need
They're very fit guys, and the thing is that they aren't all about power. Like, they're not all about like, I'm going to take you and break you in two. It's like, I'm going to jump and smash my elbow into your face and do a cartwheel and kick you in the head. Like, that's what they do. And to be honest with you, I like that in a sense more. I mean, like, I like seeing like a real bruiser and stuff, and like seeing like guys like but like, you don't have to be like a huge jack guy to do that either, because when I went to G1 to the G1 Supercard, Minoru Suzuki was like effing guys up in the ring, and he's not like huge and roided out, but he's a tall guy, and he's I'm sure that he's jacked too, but he's not like over that completely like too much, but he was messing guys up though.
That's the thing. You don't have to be a like set body type to succeed in the business, and that's the issue. Everyone thinks you have to have the gladiator type build to succeed, and like, you don't need to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the other kind of going back to the match itself, when I was evaluating who was in this match, and there's definitely some great talent here with Ali and Andrade and Baron Corbin. No, I'm just kidding about that last one. But and like Ricochet. And
he actually looked pretty good in that match, though. Like, don't take away credit from Corbin. He was putting on some good spots in that match.
Yeah, he was.
He definitely has some pretty good talent, though. Like, just like I don't know. But definitely, like, there were some guys on there that are definitely going to make it. Like, they're definitely going to make it one day. It's just that now I just don't think it's their time. And then you had guys there like Balor, who's already the IC champ. I mean, seeing him hold 2 titles would be cool. Orton, I don't even know if he's ever going to get another reign again. I think it's just that, he's just a veteran there, like riding out a little bit more of his time. McIntyre's close. I feel like he's going to get something. Corbin, I feel, is still just kind of stuck in the mid-card. So, honestly, when you kind of see all these guys here, I think definitely some of these guys are going to start going up to the main event very, very soon. But, of course, like when I just saw this match, I felt like there was just something going on there. And, of course, Brock Lesnar was that thing that was going on.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't see... All of those guys are like, that's the thing though. Like, you can give any of those guys the briefcase, and I think that's why they stepped back and gave it to Lesnar as well, because it's like, there's so much going on in the current product, they could really take it anywhere, and that's like, there's so many, like, it's a shame that they're still taking it back to Lesnar again, because they've been running that last year. And like, but it's like, there's so many guys on the roster that are being underutilized or used the wrong way, and I think they're finally starting to see it. They just don't know how to work with it. Mm-hmm. Like this Money in the Bank match, like Kofi Kingston, Ali. Well, Kofi Kingston's champion now, but I mean, Ali. When do you think Ali would have had a chance in a Money in the Bank match?
I just don't think I think he's a few years away from actually getting
I'll tell you this. No, I have to disagree. I think that it's coming soon.
See, I think he's ready. He's been ready. In my honest opinion, he's been ready since he started on 205 Live. They never gave people like that the opportunities. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Now they're starting to, though. So.
No, apparently Kofi Kingston, what Kofi Kingston is now is what Ali was supposed to be. And what made it a little more evident that his push is coming is if you go on the network and you see Ali's Chronicle, it's actually about, like, I think it's from Elimination Chamber. It's like March into April. It's like one full month of Ali, and it ends literally the night or the day, a couple hours before Money in the Bank. And he says, it's like, when he goes up he has a feeling that when he goes up on the ladder, he's gonna climb up, and it's like someone's gonna take it away from him. Like it's gonna stop him dead in his tracks. Like you're that close. You're that close. And mind you, this was all shot prior to Money in the Bank, right? So the way that they were kind of building that whole, chronicle, that whole month chronicle, to me, I think that he's gonna get a push relatively soon. It may not be in like a couple of weeks or a couple of months or even a year from now. It may be like 2 years, but I'm pretty sure he'll get there.
And he deserves to be there. He's been impressive his entire time with the company. But again, there's people like that's the point that I'm trying to make. People like that, Ali, would have been underlooked maybe 10 years ago. Ended up like when they were just focused on John Cena, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns.
The big names.
Well, Roman Reigns wasn't back then, but you get the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Like, now people like that, well, I think are finally starting, like this with Kofi. They're starting to realize, oh shit, people actually care about these people. We can actually do stuff with these guys. Instead of just John Cena or just Randy Orton.
Yeah, they actually have a much deeper talent pool.
And I'm hoping that they actually, dig into this more.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And then another interesting storyline that Dom and I were actually just discussing before Moses came on was with Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe, but it's actually about how they're getting Dominic into the storyline.
Not me.
What?
Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic.
Yes, Dominic.
I said not me. Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic.
You have a son?
I am not
Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic. As you may know, Rey Mysterio and the late, great Eddie Guerrero had a custody of Dominic ladder match. And now the little boy that was in that match, and this really makes me feel so old too, but yeah, he's like full grown right now. So
I still can't believe they had that match.
And the
like
memes
looking back on
came
it,
out of it.
It's like imagine being that kid when that happened.
I mean, when you're a part of the business, they started him when he was young, and I think that what you were saying before about him potentially training in the back, without anybody maybe even knowing about it. Perhaps he's really getting ready to maybe debut in the WWE or debut in NXT.
That was my take on him showing up out of nowhere. It's why would they have him showing up unless there's a deeper purpose to it? And I feel that they're gonna bring him in as a wrestler, and that it's that time. We don't know anything about him. We don't know if Rey Mysterio has been training him this time. We don't know if someone else has been training him. He might have not even cared anything about wrestling this entire time. We have no clue. But
now, here's another interesting thing, and I guess it's just in relation to where their relative is currently. But on Lucha Underground, Eddie Guerrero's daughter actually debuted in Lucha Underground with Chavo Guerrero, and so it's But the thing was that I actually was hearing about her training, and I think that possibly she was doing some work in the indie circuit, but there was some news about it. Now maybe Ray was keeping things a little bit more covered up, but maybe his son was actually training and is somehow or some way going to be able to get into the WWE or NXT.
Honestly, I think that he's, to be honest, I don't think he's training to be a wrestler. I mean, I could be wrong. But I think this is more of they're just trying to make Joe's niche go after the family type of thing. I mean, could he potentially be a wrestler? Maybe. I think the difference is that between Eddie's daughter and Dominic is that she kind of just showed up from nowhere. It was kind of like Benoit's son. Benoit's son, he wanted to become a wrestler, and Chris Jericho started training him. It wasn't like, oh, let's, I mean, granted, it's Chris Benoit's son, but, it wasn't like, oh, let's just throw him into a program and see what we could do with him. I don't think he's going to. So far, I've been kind of right on my predictions, because I remember my coworker swore left and right that Dean Ambrose that whole Dean Ambrose thing was a work. And I told him, no, he's really going. I think this is legit, and we would get into a discussion about it. And, I don't think that they would try to put that much pressure on his son, right off the bat. Like, mind you, we do have people who have been training, for 15 to 20 years. I actually have been wrestling for 15 to 20 years in NXT. And now this, granted, it's nepotism, but, now this random kid is going to automatically become a WWE superstar. I don't think they're going to put that much pressure on him.
Well, that's the thing, though. We don't know anything. Like, we don't know if he's been training this whole time. We don't know, like, he could have been working with WWE, like, the entire time, and they just...
Your VHS tape is breaking up, Dom.
Yeah, you might have to track your phone again. I mean, your VCR. Oh, and just for all the listeners, we're actually on a Skype. We're talking on Skype, so we're actually looking at Dom right now. And Dom looks like he's in a VCR. He's like stuck in a VCR in a crappy 90s horror movie.
If you ever seen the movie VHS, you kind of know what this looks like.
Oh, see, I thought you were going to go with, like, Hacker Man.
Oh, Hacker Man works, too. Hacker Man
yeah.
works, too. I guess you had to throw that one in because you are learning coding right now.
Yeah. But,
Is Dom completely gone?
I think he's gone.
Well, okay,
he has
then.
no idea. And this is first time ever. This is interesting.
Mm-hmm. And,
but
yeah, I guess that's what you get when you use like a phone from like the whatever.
Hey.
There he is.
And he's back.
I'm here. I apologize. My internet is fucking shit today.
Are you sure it's the internet, not the phone?
No, it actually is the internet because I'm dropping connection.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's not the phone. Like, fucking Optimum sucks. I'll put that out there on the spot because I don't care.
Optimum's
they do suck.
I've been having so many issues all week with my fucking cable and internet, and I'm like, I'm fed up.
I'm sorry. Optimum, get on your shit.
Yeah.
It's all T's now, so.
All T's, Optimum. Fix your shit.
Alright. So, yeah, Dom, like, what exactly do you think about that? About, like, this kid coming in from nowhere and getting a shot at the WWE?
I mean, I was saying before I got cut off, like, we don't know the situation behind it. We don't know if he's been training. We don't know if he's, like, been working with the WWE, working with Rey Mysterio. I mean, for all we know, he could be the next fucking Ricochet, and we just never seen him in a match. So, but I mean, it also helps that he has ties to the business. I mean, like,
yeah.
Look at Randy Orton. Like, Randy Orton went straight to WWE.
No, he didn't. He was in OVW.
He went to OVW, from OVW to WWE.
What was the deal with Santino Marella? Did he go straight to WWE, or was he in some indies before?
No, he was an indie wrestler. He wasn't just like a random fan that they pulled in. It was a work.
Yeah, I know, but I was just kind of like, like never really knew like where he was from or anything.
He had some indie experience before that, before they pulled him over.
Gotcha.
But I mean, it wouldn't be the first time like someone just comes straight in, like, due to their family history.
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure they would put him in NXT though.
Yeah,
that would be the most logical thing ever. You can't just jump, like, expect the guy to jump right into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Is I don't think that they would really put him into like they'll keep him there temporarily, and maybe he'll have like a match or something like that, and like job, and then he'll go to NXT where he can like hone up his skills more and actually like really like put on some good shows there, hopefully, and then one day get up to WWE.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they do with it. I mean, it could be interesting. It could be just storyline. I mean, it's still adding to the storyline. I mean, the Joe Mysterio storyline was getting kind of stale. Like it was just Joe attacking Mysterio. Joe attacking Mysterio. Now they're putting something into it.
They're gonna have to do something for his gimmick, because like it's honestly one. It would be no, for if Dominic is actually if he's an actual he's actually gonna be a wrestler, they're gonna have to do something that is going to be not one dimensional. Because, he can come in and betray his father and automatically a heel. But, after that, what's next? What's left? It's like having Repo Man as a character. Like, all right, so what's next? There's life outside of, one angle, and the only thing of Dom being a heel in this particular situation, the only thing that would add fuel to the fire with this angle is if Dom turned on his father. But after he turns on his father and he runs as a heel, what's next? Like, what's the motive of him being a heel? It's not, I betrayed my father and that's it. My real father passed away, and now I'm using my my fake father and I'm attacking him. Like that even that doesn't work. Like, there has to be some type of motive to make him still a heel. Like, it has to be, something.
Yeah.
And
that's all stuff that they would find they would work with. Like, if he become as he's figuring it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, it's something we'll have to wait and see.
You could always go to Lucha Underground and just form a Guerrero tag team. His sister's already there. All right, so we got a brand new wrestling promotion starting up their first ever pay-per-view, going straight into it too. AEW is going to be having Double or Nothing. So I checked out the card here. Some pretty interesting matches that they're already going for, and a lot of really interesting indie guys here, some of which I know. And definitely the 21-man Casino Battle Royale is, I think, going to be really, really interesting. And you got some pretty big names here, like Kenny Omega, Jericho, Cody. You got the Japanese ladies match, and some tag team action there, and of course the Young Bucks. So I think that there's some pretty good potential here. I know that some people take cracks at them and who are these guys? And to be real with you, I actually know quite a few people on this list. But I think that there's a lot of potential here with how they're starting off. But yeah, what do you guys think?
Well, I wouldn't call this their first event. If we're really being honest, what was All In?
All In.
It wasn't under the AEW name, but it was basically produced by the same people. It was just done before the company actually started.
That is a good point.
Well, it's like WrestleMania, pretty much. It's like WrestleMania. WrestleMania was before the WWF was the actual WWF. There was the WWF, and I think it was WrestleMania was under that.
Yeah.
So
I'm including All In as part of AEW, and so for that sake, I'm going to say they already put out product by giving us All In. We saw how big of a success All In is. We saw how quickly that sold out, how great of a card it was. We saw how quickly Double or Nothing sold out as well. You got a great card here. I really think this is going to be a great event. And it's going to be a good start to their company, because they have their other show in Jacksonville for later on in the year, and then they have the TV deal coming in October with TNT, which I'm really excited for.
TNT getting back on the wrestling track finally.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, you gotta do it right this time.
20 years, right?
Yeah, no, a little less.
A little
Just like
under
that
20
scene
years.
in The Force Awakens where was Kylo Ren looking at Darth Vader's mask and he's like, "I'll finish what you started." Definitely, it's like
Pretty much.
it's totally like they're just looking at WCW like, "I'm gonna finish it."
I think there's a lot of potential for AEW on TNT. They're finally going to have their like more of an exposure than just the people that like know about them already. Like you're going to get casual people just tuning in and catching it like, "Oh, what's this?" And that's going to definitely help. And it's going to help WWE as well. Cuz I feel like once like it's not like AEW is going to be big, but it's not WWE competition big yet.
No, but
it's not going to be direct competition. However, WWE knows they're going to have to step up their game when AEW starts airing. Like they're going to have to really redefine the entire show that they're going to be putting on because they know, like, all right, shit, we have to actually beat these guys out with what we're producing, and like. Exactly. If they just keep doing the same stuff that they're doing right now, AEW can easily take over WWE. Well, I wouldn't say easily take over.
Everybody has said something to take over WWE.
WWE's not going anywhere.
No, but I mean it'll be the start of the Monday Night War potential again. Raw. The Monday Night Raw potential.
Well, the Tuesday Night War, I guess.
Well, I mean. Even so, like they already like SmackDown's moving to Fridays, so
yeah,
like, they already eliminated direct competition there.
Well, yeah,
but again, that's also part of like SmackDown's moving to Fox Sports as well. That's going to be a major impact to their procedures, I guess you would say. They're going to have to change everything up for that as well. That's also going to give them a lot more exposure as well.
I feel like it's also like what's really appealing about AEW is just their ability to really kind of go out and really bring on like a more diverse group of wrestlers in a sense. That they are really trying to give like with WWE, like they kind of tend to go for like the best of the best in the sense. And I'm not like saying like these people are like like the best of the best because they have like Kenny Omega and Jericho there, but like they're going for people that
may have best. In reality, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho are the best of the best.
Oh, like, yeah, definitely.
These guys, and like that's no discrediting to the guys in the WWE, but like, these guys are like lights out. Like Kenny Omega's been in the industry for 20-something years, and Joey Ryan's been in the industry for 20-something years, and it's been have been incredibly relevant. And I think we can all agree that Chris Jericho by far is one of the greatest entertainers / performers of all time.
And you want to know something else that's really, really interesting? Another thing that I observed when I was at G1 Supercard was that even some of these more older Japanese wrestlers, like the Great Muta, and also with Liger too, when they came out, people were like, oh my god! And
they were losing their shit.
People were like losing their shit to these guys, and it's amazing too because I didn't really expect that because that's why I tend to. See at like WWE shows, but these people knew who these people were. Like they weren't just jumping on the bandwagon either. And when I saw that, I was like really, really, I really know like these guys like they didn't really need WWE to become like where they are today. And I think that this is pretty much like the same thing. Like look at Kenny Omega, and even like with these other, I mean Cody. He was in WWE, but look at what he became outside of WWE. When he left, yeah, totally, and I feel like that's like what they're doing here is that they see the potential in these guys that maybe they didn't make it to the WWE, but maybe they don't need the WWE.
Well, that's the thing. WWE isn't the wrestling business. WWE is just one part of the business. Like, look at what leaving WWE did to Cody Rhodes' career. Like, that was like it just showed up, like came up in my. Like Facebook memories, like him leaving was exactly 3 years ago, and look what he's accomplished in those 3 years.
Yeah,
like he's one of the biggest names in the wrestling industry.
And look at Goldust. I mean, now going underneath Dustin Rhodes. I think that he's going to be like on that same path too. And I think that he really has the I think like he might even follow suit like in what his brother's doing. I kind of don't understand why he didn't leave sooner, but
yeah, see, Goldust, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated, and I said the same thing about Cody when he was around too, but Goldust is one of the most underrated talents that WWE's been sitting on for the past 20 years.
And he's aged too, like a lot. And the thing is that they waited so long to do anything with him.
And that's why I'm upset that he took this long to leave. Like, if he would have left and went to New Japan or ROH, like the amount of like insane matches that we could have gotten from him, it's just like it's all missed potential in my opinion. It's like I'm really excited for this Cody match. Like we had Stardust versus Goldust, but it was like that really shit the bed. I mean, but now that you put them in a company where they actually like will have the freedom to work and do what they want. Even just look at the first promo they had, like promoting the match. That one promo was better than the whole entire Stardust Goldust feud that WWE was setting up. And that was a 5-minute promo. And like now I feel that Goldust has his time, like his opportunity to shine. He's just gonna destroy it. I just wish like he would have did it sooner, because now like he's already like how old now? He doesn't have much time left, like to be competing at the level that he can, like he should be competing at.
Yeah, I mean it's also the fact that I actually heard that AJ Styles just signed. He's actually like his days are actually kind of numbered too. Styles said that I think he's looking to retire soon.
Well, he didn't say he was looking to retire. He just said that he's not going to re-sign.
Yeah, he said this is going to be his last contract, like signing. Like he's not, not re-signing or like he's not continuing. It's that he's happy where he is now, and he has no need to. There's no need for him to like do anything else.
But he also wants to see the whole Fox thing go down, and like the first SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown, and like he said that there's a few more things he still wants to do. So he's gonna be in the industry for a bit.
Yeah,
but
he's
kind of like evaluating stuff at this moment.
Well, no, he's just realizing that he's 40-something years old, and that it's almost that time for him to hang it up. That's really it. I mean, like a wrestler knows when it's time, and he's been in the industry since the early '90s. Well, yeah, some people, but
Ric Flair didn't know that, but
yeah, well, Ric Flair is the exception.
Shawn Michaels didn't know that either. But.
Well, I thought Shawn Michaels knew
Ric
that.
Ric Flair has literally kicked Daft's ass like 3 times within like the past like few years.
Yeah,
so
he's in an Iron Man match with
the Grim Reaper.
with the Grim Reaper.
And he's winning. I mean, maybe
he's up 4 falls right now.
Yeah, Superstar's looking great at the top of the first. But
what do you think of Jericho's new finisher, the Judas effect? I think it's called
the Judas effect.
Judas effect, where he just does like a spinning elbow into their face.
I haven't seen it yet, honestly.
Oh, he was just doing it on a heavy bag. That was it.
I'll tell you this: it's definitely better than John Cena's Winshu Schnapp whatever Japanese freaking I'm gonna breathe in and punch you thing. That God, like that
the thunder pitch thing?
Yeah, the thunder, whatever the hell it is. It's like he learned this from the monks in the ancient like Himalayas or something, man. Like it's like, dude, shut up. Like,
I was like, John,
it's a punch to the chest.
John, just stop. And then there was he came back as Thuganomics, which was actually okay, thank God. But yeah, I mean, I think that I was just like kind of like thought it was like a little bit funny, but maybe it's just gonna be like how he's gonna set it up. Because he might, if he does it as like a running finisher, I think it would actually be really interesting to see, because if he could really get some velocity down and then like launch it into like throw like a spinning elbow or ground to somebody's face, and like that's a pretty hard hit right there.
Yeah.
So like, what match are you looking to the most?
Cody versus Justin, and like I really wanted that match for WWE, and they shit the bed on that one, and it was poorly produced, and like this is a match that has potential to just steal the entire show, and I'm just really excited to see what Dustin can do on his own terms when he's given the freedom to run his own match and to run on his own time and to actually compete to his full potential instead of, oh, we'll have you come in and you can do like 3 moves and then the match is over.
Done.
Yeah.
Yep, and Moses, what about you?
Honestly, I'm just looking forward to the entire card, but I mean, realistically, I think Dustin versus Cody is going to be a hell of a match, and that's, like, to go off of what Dom said, like, this is something that's been in the works even like when they were both in WWE, and it's finally being done right, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And something else I just noticed here too. Billy Gunn is actually in the 21-man Battle Royale. I just saw his name. I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, he's been working with, what is it, New Japan, right, for a while now, and he has ties with all those guys. Like, they made remarks about it at the Hall of Fame during the DX induction speech.
Which was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
There was quite a few laughable moments there.
But I mean, also another thing that we should be talking about is the Pac versus Page match being pulled from the card.
And I was about to also bring that up. So
with less than a week from the card happening,
so
it gets pulled.
What do you think was the purpose of that? Like, why? Like, do you think it was just Pac? Just like, did they have him set to lose, and he just was like, "I ain't losing"?
No. See, here's the thing. It came out that he was supposed to win that match against Page, but he was going to face Omega in the future, and he didn't want to take a loss to Omega. From what I'm reading, this is all like dirt sheet reports. We don't have any like official confirmation as to like what the real like thing is. It's all speculation. But from what I'm reading, he's holding the Dragon Gate Championship, right?
Yeah.
And like, he doesn't want to lose that title. He wants to like keep that title prestigious, and he wants to hold his. Like, he doesn't want to lose while holding that title. Which, I mean, I don't know. See, I have an issue here. It's like, I understand wanting to keep the title prestigious, but there's only so far you can go. Like, you have to draw the line between being like arrogant and like not like being able to work with others and being able to put over the title. Like, sure, I mean, no one wants to lose, like, but that's part of the business. So like, you have to be able to understand, like, you're going into another person's company, you should be willing to work with them as to what they have planned. But I don't know, Moses, you've been in the actual business. What's your insight to this?
Gift us with your insight, master.
I get it. I get why he doesn't want to lose, because the prestige of the title is important. He's gonna wear that title around his waist, and how is it gonna look if he faces somebody and he loses in a non-title match for a different brand? So I get that, but if anything, I would say just Pac's a heel, and like, I kind of agree with him. Like, he shouldn't job out if he's got a title for this other job, for this other promotion. But realistically, they could just book him to lose, but it could have been a DQ. That I think it would have looked a little more strong.
That's what they've been doing, is having him having draws or having like some kind of like, not like fake finish. Like, and anytime he's doing other matches, like they've been doing it with him and Ospreay a few times, I've heard. And that's what they did with the original Page match. Like, it's supposed to be airing that like over the week or something like that. Like the match, they actually had the match at a different company, and they just had a false finish. Like, there's only so much you can do with that though before it gets like, all right, like this is too much.
Yeah.
But see, my thought is like, he's not jobbing out though. Like, you're facing Kenny Omega, one of the biggest fucking guys in the business. Like, if you take a loss to him, is that really that damaging to your career?
It's also that.
Well, it's not his career that's the issue. It's the promotion that he's representing as a champion.
Okay, that's actually a good point.
That's the issue. It's, it's like, Floyd Mayweather versus, like Floyd Mayweather versus, I don't know, like let's say there was another boxer, and they, and they were facing each other. And how would it look if Floyd Mayweather beat the other champion of the other promotion? It'd make Floyd Mayweather's promotion look like the stronger promotion of the two. And that's what he's doing. He's not thinking he's not thinking that he's not thinking,
Omega is one of the bigger names, and
like he's not thinking like, oh well, it's my career. He's thinking, this is the promotion that's, like both promotions are babies, and he's trying to make the credibility and the prestige of the championship something.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's like
you still have to be willing to work with other, like in a situation like this. Like if you're taking other bookings, you have to be able to work with what you're being booked with. Like, I mean, I'll go back to Goldust. Look at how much shitty booking WWE put him through, and he took what he was given, and he made the best of what he could. Like, Goldust was supposed to fail. Like, they gave that gimmick to him as a punishment, and he fucking turned it into a success.
Well, it was more of a rib to his father than...
Yeah. But, I mean... I think, like, it should be play with what you're given. Like, you're not always going to be given a full house. You have to take a few shitty hands before you're going to be able to to win everything.
I mean, like, and the other thing too is that, like what you said before, he's going up against Omega, and the thing is that Omega can literally make, although like you will lose to him in the end, he could still make you look incredibly good in the match.
Yeah.
Like it's not all about like you could have lost. Like one of my favorite matches of all time, Omega versus Okada, and basically, Okada lost the match, but it was a damn good match, and he really brought it to Omega. And the thing was that even though that, I could have wanted Okada to win that match, and I still would have been happy with the match, even though Omega won, because he just, honestly, when I first watched the match, I was like, I don't even care. Like, I just enjoy watching both of these guys kill each other. But overall, though, even if I just really wanted him to win, I would have been happy with Omega winning because he allowed him to put on such a great performance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you don't have to win a match to be put over. There's many times where just having the match itself is enough to put you over. And I mean, again, Grant, we're talking about the title here, so it kind of changes the perspective a little bit. But it's like, I don't know. I think they could have did things a little bit differently instead of, all right, well, let's just pull him out, and now he's not going to work with the company anymore.
Yeah, I think Pac kind of took it a little bit too far in a sense. Like, I think but I don't know. I mean, I think that they could potentially negotiate something out. And I think that in the end, Pac will come. And
it sucks because I'm a huge fan of him. Like, I've always loved everything he did, and I really was looking forward to getting to see what he was going to do with the company. And now that's just kind of like, damn.
Well, there was also, when he took on Ospreay too, they actually had it end in a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, he just doesn't like to lose, Pac. But
well, that's what they've been doing. Like, they've been taking his matches, his out of promotion matches, and just not having him lose the title and not having him lose, which makes sense in a way. But like I said, you can't do that forever. Like,
That's true. Yeah, eventually you're gonna have to take the bullet.
yeah.
Alrighty. Anything else that you guys would like to talk about?
I am good on my end.
Yeah, I think it was a good starting point. We talked about a lot. We still have we get to see what Double or Nothing's going to bring us this weekend. I'm excited to see it. I'm hoping it should be a great card. I'm excited to see what they're going to produce for us on TNT when they go to TNT. And yeah.
Yep, lots of stuff to look forward to. So, we will catch you next time on another episode of That's Not the Finish.